Well, the starting line next, another one of the Ford Bronco-bodied machines that were so popular at the outset of this sport 15 years ago. This is the one and only Total Obsession machine, campaigned by Steve Abbott and Buster Merrill. Machine out of Port Kingston, New Hampshire.
Total Obsession is being driven tonight by Steve Abbott.
Now Abbott will be handling this Ford Bronco with, of all things, a 427 Chevy Rat motor underneath the hood. The machine uses carburetors and gasoline along with nitrous oxide injection. Again, these lightweight machines are always competitive. As a matter of fact, this is one of the first of the dual-duty on-road and off-road street trucks, probably the first after the fabled Willys Jeep that made it through World War II and developed a reputation from there. The Chevrolet-powered Ford Bronco, originally campaigned with a small block, now with a big block Chevrolet. Makes it through the pit in fine style. As a matter of fact, for this late in the game, that elapsed time will probably get him into about the 2.8 second zone. On the slow motion replay, you can see a lot of tire spin. That's the first vehicle we've really seen spin the tires off the starting line. So you can see it never really got up on the tires until the last 15 feet of the course. Then the kill switch shuts the motor down. He makes it into the shutdown area safe and sound, drives around under his own power. 3.09 seconds the elapsed time, however. And here again, you can see the tire spin. Boy, just slinging mud everywhere, trying to get back up on top of the mud, and he finally accomplishes that. At the point that he did, it was far too late. Like I said, that 3.09 second elapsed time won't help Steve Abbott a bit. Well, here is a driver who has been with the USHRA Association National Event Trail since its inception more than 6 years ago. This is Jose Souza from Danbury, Connecticut. And Shelley, this guy used to show up at the very first of USHRA Association's championship events in the Northeast with a street-legal Blazer. And now he has finally stepped up to a state-of-the-art Jeep funny car.
Well, we'll see just how well that does now that he's moved up in class. Jose Souza.
You can see he is not a small guy either. Truck driver during the week. A 31-year-old just completed this fiberglass-bodied mud machine only a couple of weeks ago. This is only the third time out for this machine and its first in a national championship appearance. It's using a small block Chevrolet, believe it or not, with carburetors and gasoline. It's an extremely light vehicle, however, 2,100 pounds, and a lot of tire spin off the starting line. And Jose Souza runs into big-time problems. You can see a backfire through the carburetor shields there. As a matter of fact, just a little bit of fire coming out of those carburetor covers. And Jose runs into a timing problem or a fuel delivery problem that is going to keep him out of the money tonight. On the replay, look at this tire spin. The thing never gets any traction to speak of, and then at about half track, the motor starts going away. As soon as it crosses the finish line, if you watch those chrome carburetor covers there, you see the fire popping out of them. That was the problem, backfiring through the carburetor. He makes it to the finish line, just barely. You can see the post right there that marks the 80-foot mark. Here again, watch the chrome carburetor covers up on top of that fiberglass body. You'll see the fire pop out of them as the machine backfires with some kind of timing problem.
You don't have to have any sound on a slow motion camera to know that that's trouble.
You bet. The elapsed time, 5.83 seconds. Getting a wrap on the helmet from his son. This is the 1988 USHRA Association World Points Champion, not in the super modified class, but interestingly enough, in the unlimited tractor tire division. This is Len Wisniewski, and the machine that his competitors call the Banana Boat, but it's better known as the original Outlaw 99. And Shelley, this is an amazing transition to take an unlimited class vehicle, very, very heavy piece of equipment, put short 44-inch tall cut tires on it, and run it competitively in the super modified class.
He's done remarkably well in the preliminary events. He'd actually stayed competitive with some of our top guys.
Oh, there's no question. This thing can fly. It's a very, very unique chassis and body design. But he told everybody, hey, he was just going to switch it into the super modified class. Everybody kind of laughed, said you'll never be competitive. And he's proven them wrong. This thing can run under 2.5 seconds. Like I said, it's a heavy piece of equipment, but it will move if it gets the right traction off the starting line. Wisniewski in the cockpit, one of the most serious competitors in the USHRA Association Trail. Leaves the starting line, good run, and Len Wisniewski bouncing around down there. He actually ricocheted off the right-hand side berm when he shut it off the finish line. But Wisniewski's run may be good enough to put him in one of the top spots. Like I said, this thing flies. On the replay of the starting line launch, right there, the thing moves as soon as he hits the throttle and gets right up on the mud. Now, for a 3,000-pound vehicle, this thing is awesome, but you can see the front wheels cocked. That's what sends him into the berm at the finish line. But listen to this. The elapsed time, 2.29 seconds. That's good for number 3. Look at Glenn gritting his teeth, trying to steer it out of the ruts. Then it hooks the rut into the berm, throws him around in the cockpit, sends up a wall of mud, but still a 2.29 from a heavy, heavy machine. Unbelievable run. This guy is good. Well, pulling up onto the starting line is a machine that we've watched all year long, Shelley, and I'll tell you, it has become one of the most competitive of its type in the history of the association. Ed Nokus and physical therapy.
If there was ever an underdog in this event, it's got to be Ed. He seems to have some kind of a TV jinx, and he's hoping to overcome it.
The beautiful Chevy Blazer sitting patiently on the starting line as the ground crew hooks up the kill switch, the tow cable. This fuel-injected small block Chevrolet with nitrous oxide injection and an all-steel Chevy Blazer body is hoping to better his previous best elapsed time of 2.38 seconds. That's an incredible elapsed time. There's no question about it. Absolutely amazing elapsed time for any full-bodied vehicle. Now, earlier tonight, we saw Ground Zero run 2:35, which is the quickest run ever for a Chevy-bodied, full-bodied truck. So, indeed, Ed's got something to shoot for, and you can bet he wants to better that 2:38 that he recorded in Pontiac, Michigan earlier this season. The guy they call Lamont waits on the starting line, leaves the line very nicely. A good run, a lot of fire out of the pipes when the kill switch kicks in, but now driving it up and out. And Ed Nokus may indeed, despite the overheating we see on that engine, and that's overheating, that's not just steam, because we saw some smoke on the starting line before he left, may have indeed taken it into the 2-second zone. There, you can see it overheating on the replay as it sits on the starting line. And because of the overheating, it kind of nosed into the mud, never got the front tires up like it should have until right there. Now it's in perfect trim. The fire out of the pipes as the kill switch cuts the motor. The elapsed time, 2.88 seconds for Ed Nokus and physical therapy.
At least he didn't break anything on the car.
That's one of the first times we've seen him make it through the mud on ESPN. He never could seem to do it right in front of the cameras, but he finally gets it done. What an incredible way to end the 1989 U.S. Abbott Association Championship mud racing circuit. But, Shelley, I don't think anybody was ready for Lee Holtz to blow away world champ Tom Martin like that.
Well, I sure wasn't, but wasn't it exciting?
I'll tell you, it's going to get wilder. These young guns.